Hello, my friends. Probably wondering what Sarah's been up to. Well, I decided to come out here and do a little bushcrafting. This video is for a really great guy named MrOneleggedjosh on YouTube. I'm going to put his link right down below. I'm going to do a video response to a video I saw last night that sort of touched a nerve with me. Josh was talking about, not to be discouraged with having to have all the best gear, And to me, that's what bushcrafting is all about. It's not about the gear. It's about being able to get out here and do with less, do without, how to make what you need. At least that's what it is for me, right? It's about learning my environment in great detail, learning what I can use, learning about the animals. I really enjoy tracking and following the animals, seeing what they're up to. That's it. And just really getting to know my environment. It's very important to me. Good case in point is I discovered, this stuff right here. I think this is just mesquite, but, don't get me wrong. I might be wrong. But it makes really good cordage. So I decided to throw up a quickie little shelter. Now I have nicer tarps. I have, decent ponchos and stuff like that. But I brought out, this is just like a $5 tarp, right? It works. It will do the job. It's a $5 poncho, right? It's not very expensive, but you can build a shelter out of it, right? No problem at all. Now I brought cordage with me today, but I didn't want to use it. So I was able to use this material right here, which I also noticed I started a mat right there. So I got something to put my bony ass on, or, as a sleeping mat. I just started weaving it together. Didn't do a great job. Anyways, I also used it for cordage for my shelter here, right? I just, right in there is a acorn. I use that for a button. Lashed it around right there. Brought it right down. It is a little short, so I just used a square knot right there. And then I brought it right down here to this wooden stick. Really tough to drive in the ground. And I just lashed it onto there. I basically wrapped it around twice, and I used a timber hitch. If you want to know what a timber hitch is and you don't know, check out YouTube. Ask me. I'll show you. Just a really good hitch that kind of locks up on itself, and it works pretty good for natural cordage. Right back here, I found that this stuff doesn't come out of the ground very easy. It's got a really good root system. So I just left it in the ground, and I just stretched it over, used an acorn, same thing, lashed the corner down right there. Now I didn't do the hood yet. I'm not going to bother because I'm just out here practicing, seeing what I can do, right? But I could lash that hood down. I could even bring it out, give myself a little more headroom, bring it out over here somewhere, and stretch it out that way. And then I did the same thing right over here. Just lashed it on, use natural cordage. Now to me, when I'm out and I'm exploring, anytime I can find really good cordage, that is huge. And it's a great skill to learn, right? You want to study the plants and what you can eat, what you shouldn't be touching, but that takes time. That you really should make sure you know exactly what you're doing before you start eating wild edibles, because you can get yourself in trouble. You can get yourself sick or something. You may even have allergic reactions to some things. But there's other things you can do, right? There's other things you can learn. You can come out here and practice bushcrafting, and you don't need a lot of fancy equipment. You don't need a lot of fancy stuff. And to me, that's what it's all about. So what I did today, again, this with Josh in mind, right, is I did everything with this simple little knife right here. My brother gave me this a long time ago. It's got a little, see that? It's got like a little rose on it. I think it's 440 stainless steel. It works fine. It's a decent little knife. And I'm sure you can find something like this at a very, very low cost. You could probably find one at a garage sale or something. You know, I didn't need to bring out, I have some gorgeous knives now. I have some really nice equipment. But, you know, you don't need that stuff to come out here and enjoy. You actually, I personally learn more the less I bring. You know, I learn more by learning with something like this as compared to a $200 knife or a $300 knife that's going to chop through everything, right? It makes you use your head a little bit. And to me, that's you know, that's a good skill to learn. Obviously, if you get into more primitive survival and stuff like that, primitive living skills, you know, you can even learn how to use the natural rocks or bones and stuff like that. To me, that's what it's all about. You know, the wonderful gear reviews and everything we see, I've done them myself. You know, like Josh was saying, he's done them. Those are invaluable. I don't mean to put anybody down for that, because on YouTube is probably the best format to get honest reviews on the new equipment coming out you can get. So everybody doing that stuff, everybody getting the great gear, you know, please continue to. You know, I don't mean to put anybody down by it. It's just that if you are beginning at bushcraft, if you don't have a lot, you don't need a lot. You know, you can get by with very simple stuff, and you can learn everything out here. Okay, carrying on. Right here, this started out life as a camera bag, right? It didn't cost me a thing. I was able to, you know, kind of rebuild it, make it suit my needs, and I made a really nice little fanny pack, right? I just, this is the strap, the shoulder strap. I was able to redo it, and I'll put some pictures in there for you. And I have a really nice little fanny pack now. Basic plastic bottle, all you need. Basic metal bottle. This is stainless steel. You know, I've tested it on the stove several times. It's a good container for boiling your water for cooking in. And a tin can. Again, you know, Guyot bottles are awesome. I'd like to have one. But this works perfectly well. It works wonderfully for me. I also have a canteen that I absolutely love. You know, a U.S. military type canteen and the canteen cup. I love those. But if you can't get those, this is a great option. It works really wonderfully. I always carry at least 2 bottles of water, you know, because this is kind of dry out here. I'm going to put my camera down, and I'm going to show you the rest of my kit here in a minute. My little bag here is just your basic fanny pack. I always carry extra plastic bags. If I'm not doing anything else when I go hiking or something like that, I am checking out the plants and things around here, and I take specimens with me. You know, if you don't have the field guides and stuff like that, go to the library. You know, you can go to the library, take some specimens. If you don't have a camera, you know, take some specimens. Make sure you know which plants are poisonous, like poison ivy, poison oak. Obviously, you don't want to be handling those. But a lot of the other stuff, if you don't know what it is, you know, learn. Go to the library or something. If you have books at home, if you have encyclopedia or something like that, you don't want to bring those out in the field. You know, I do it all the time. I just take specimens with me. It's very, very handy. Of course, I keep a notepad too. I also draw pictures and I take notes. And this goes along with, right up here, a cloth measuring tape, so that if I come across a good set of tracks, right, I can measure the tracks. I can measure the length of leaves or the distance between the leaves on a branch. All sorts of things you can do with this, and you can take your own notes. You know, go out into the field, be scientific about it. You know, study everything, get to know your environment. This is a handy little tool. Doesn't cost you hardly anything. These things are super cheap, right? And this one's yellow. You know, it's high visibility. I'm less likely to lose it. I can use it for signaling. Do all sorts of, I could use it for cordage if I had to, right? Just a handy little tool to have. I brought this book along with me. You know, I didn't need to, but I thought I would. if you're new to bushcrafting or something like that, if you're new to outdoors, I would recommend Cody Lundine's book right here, 98.6 Degrees, The Art of Keeping Your Ass Alive. It's an excellent book. This book is not going to teach you how to make cordage. It's not going to teach you how to make a shelter or something like that, but it's going to teach you why, and it's going to give you good survival skills, and it's going to give you good ideas for basic stuff that you should carry. Really good book. If you don't want to buy it, go to the library. Again, you can borrow these books. You don't necessarily have to go buy one of these if you can't afford it yet, or if you want to spend money. Of course, if you are watching my video, you're watching YouTube, there's tons of information out there just like this that you can learn from. I brought another knife with me. This is my Green River knife that I absolutely love. I didn't really use it today. This is a $20 knife at CanteenShop.com. You can also get a Mora knife for $13, $13.50 at CanteenShop.com. Excellent knives. This one I've carried around for 20 years. It's a perfectly good knife for bushcrafting. It's not as strong and powerful as a K-bar or something like that, but you can do everything you need to do. You just have to think a little harder. That's all. Get a little hatchet to go along with it, and you've got a great little kit. Learn to do without. I brought my gloves. A lot of the guys that watch my videos and stuff, hey, where's your gloves? Well, I did bring them today, guys. I have a bug net in here because it's awful buggy out. These bug nets have tons of uses other than bugs, keeping the bugs off you. You can use them for filtering water. You can use them for collecting stuff. This thing cost me $2.29. A very cheap, simple piece of kit. Of course, I always carry bandanas. You can pick up bandanas anywhere. They just have 101 uses. I'm wearing one on my head right now. Basic cordage. $5.50 is great. Currently it seems like $5.50 goes for about $10 for 100 feet. If you don't want to go that route, you can get this stuff for a couple bucks. And just good old white rope like this. It is kind of nice to have, especially at nighttime. It's easier to see. It'll work for you. It's good basic cordage that'll work for you, and this cost me a couple bucks, right? That's all you really need. $5.50 is wonderful stuff. If you're going to invest the money, yeah, get some. It's great stuff. Get some bank line. That's another excellent idea. I've never got any of that yet, but cordage. Of course, I have alcohol sanitizer stuff. I have some TP in here. I have some bug spray. I have a garbage bag and a emergency blanket. Right, very cheap items. This is a nail file, right? I carry these a lot. You can get these for like 2 or 3 of them for $1 at a dollar store, something like that. I've used these plenty of times to kind of clean the edge up on my knife. They do work. Get the fine grit one if you can find it, and they will strop your knife. They'll kind of take the gunk off. They'll put an edge back on it. It'll help, right? You can also go get sandpaper. Until you can afford to get really expensive sanding or whetstones and all that sort of stuff, there's plenty of ways to sharpen up your knife. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Right down here in front, I got a nifty little pocket right down here too. I got my first aid kit. Rich the Ridge Hunter, right, gave me the great idea for this. It's just a soap dish that I got at the dollar store, and basic first aid. If you're young, if you're new to the bushcrafting, if you want to go out, make sure you bring first aid anytime you bring a knife. But you don't have to spend a lot of money on these either. There's lots of great videos out there on how to build these. I'm not going to go into this too much. Check out Rich the Ridge Hunter. He's got a great video on how to build something like this. Very simple. There's lots of good videos. Fixed by Doc does them. Having basic first aid, and you really don't have to spend a lot. And if you're young or something like that, let your parents know that you are into this sort of thing, and I bet you anything that they'll make sure you have good first aid with you. I have a basic flashlight. This one I have the batteries turned around in. You know, this little pink one is hard to lose, and I've been using the heck out of it, and it's a great little light. Right here is a basic leather strop. All the leather that I use, right, I've gotten them at thrift stores or garage sales. If you can find a leather jacket, right, if you can find leather vest, if you can find an old purse, anything that's made out of good leather, get it. If you can find a leather jacket that's 3 times too big for you, that's an excellent score. You will have lots of leather to work with that you can start making things with. This is just a strip of leather off of a leather vest that I cut up. I've had several of these. They are super handy. You can strop your knives. There's lots of videos on stropping your knives. But the other thing I like about it is that it is a piece of leather. If you want to get into flint knapping, right, here's a piece of leather to keep you from poking yourself, right? If you have a hot, say you got this hot can on the fire, right, you can wrap the leather around it like that, keep yourself from getting burned, right? All sorts of useful stuff that you can use with this simple piece of leather, right? Just good to have in your kit. And I just have braided jute cord. Another great thing. Jute twine is excellent to have in your kit. It's just 101 uses. It's super cheap. It's biodegradable, so if you accidentally leave it behind, it will break down because it's just natural fibers. My fire kit is very super simple. I just got matches right here. I got some these are just cotton balls soaked in Vaseline, you know. Mr. Cody Lundeen down here, you know, he shows them in his book. Everybody knows about these. You can also take the same stuff, basically, stick it in a drinking straw, seal up both ends, and you have a fire straw. They are excellent ideas too. And there's a lot of great ideas out there on how to make fire straws, how to make all sorts of stuff. This stuff does not cost you anything. I put it in a simple pill bottle and wrap some duct tape around it. And I have some extra jute twine here. Wow, that's cool. Wow. Okay. I'm not going to build a fire today. Alright? It is super dry out here. It would be irresponsible of me just to make a fire for this video. I don't do fires out here. You can build a fire in your backyard. You can build one, you know, in your barbecue pit, whatever. I don't do it. I don't need to make a fire. I'm not going to. There was a horrible, horrible fire, you know, down in Arizona or in New Mexico or down in there, right? Started by some campers, you know, with their campfire. You know, nobody wants to be responsible for something like that, and I'm certainly not. So, I know how to make a fire. That's, you know, I don't need to show anybody, but I'm not going to, just for this video. It wouldn't be responsible of me, because if something got out of hand, fire is a very, it's, you know, it's tricky. You know, if all it takes is a couple, a piece of wood with some pitch in it or something like that, and I could light up this whole mountainside. I'm not going to do that. But I do have emergency stuff in here, should I need it. So right here, there's my basic little bushcraft kit with my new little bushcraft bag, my little fanny pack. I really like it. You know, it's really, really handy. For my ultralight friends, this is not the lightest. It's about 15 ounces. I did cut a lot of the weight out of it and stuff, but it's solid. It's made out of great material. I can go through the brush in it, which I did today and got all torn up. But here's a great example of how you can build something very simple, simple items, and you can go out and enjoy nature, right? Go out and learn what's out your back door, right? Learn about the plants and the animals and, you know, the birds and everything else, right? I have some big old quail down there just really going to town. Oh, that's not a quail. What is that? Well, anyways, I'm going to go find out what that bird is. Thank y'all for watching. Check out One-Legged Josh check out his videos, right? I'm going to put his link down below. Thanks a lot, Josh, for the great topic that you brought up. And have a nice day, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.